So.
Alert day conditions over the weekend, and now we have alert day conditions just 24 hours away for snow, wind, and icy roads. I'll break down the very latest.
The F-35s return to Madison skies for training, but not everyone's happy about it. We'll tell you what changes neighbors would like to see.
And later, the Middleton Cross Plains School District gives parents an update on how they're preparing in the event of a critical situation. And we welcome you to News 3 Now at 6. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Eric Franke.
And I'm Sarah Carlson. We begin with the weather, where we have an alert day condition in the forecast for a wintry mix tomorrow night and Wednesday.
That's right. Not only that, but we also have the possibility of more bitterly cold temperatures in the forecast. For the latest on those conditions, we check in with our chief meteorologist, Alex Harrington. Alex?
Eric, Sarah, yes, it seems every other day we're having an alert day for either snow or bitter cold. Let's focus on the snow, wind, and icy roads that we're expecting Tuesday night going on into Wednesday for Madison and areas towards the north, especially for areas north of Madison, where we're expecting a very sharp cutoff of snow from Madison to Lone Rock and areas to the southwest. May see less than an inch of snow. You march up into Columbia County, up towards the Dells, Camp Douglas, up towards Marquette and Green Lake counties. They could be looking at 3, 4, 5 inches of wet snow as we go from Tuesday night into Wednesday. But it's a very sharp cutoff that could move north or south in just a few miles. It will make a big difference in those amounts. Confidence high enough that those amounts will materialize north of Madison, the Dells, Juneau, Adams, Marquette, Green Lake counties, Columbia, and Dodge County for that potential for 2 to 5 inches, maybe an isolated 6-inch amount. But I don't want the rest of southern Wisconsin to let your guard down just yet. That area could shift to the south, and we're also expecting icy roads across the rest of southern Wisconsin too. And we have snow coming in tonight. Here it is marching into the Minneapolis to Rochester area, and it's going to quickly slide off towards the south and east. When you join us again for the 10 o'clock newscast, I expect some light snow across southern Wisconsin that could amount here. I notice it's widespread, but we're not seeing constant snow all night long, just scattered snow showers, enough to maybe give us a half inch to an inch to wake up to a few slick spots. But when I come next, when I come back next, we'll use Future Track and show you the Tuesday night and Wednesday weather system from start to end.
Sounds great. Thank you, Alex. And you can track this forecast for yourself on the First Warn Weather app. It has hourly planners, road conditions, and radar. Download this for free in your phone's app store. Just search WISC Weather.
Well, this week, the 115 Fighter Wing will conduct nighttime test flights for the F-35s, and the noise of the jets continues to be a topic of discussion for residents on Madison's north and east sides.
With more on that, News 3 Now's Jalen Banks joins us live from Truax Field, where testing takes place. Jalen, what can you tell us?
Sarah and Eric, the F-35 testing is back, this time at night. I had the chance to catch up with one resident who's been tracking one of the biggest concerns for many in the area of the F-35s, and that's the noise. From now until Thursday, Madison residents should expect to see and hear F-35 jets taking off or landing until 8 p.m. each night at Truax Field. And the disagreements over the F-35s in Madison have gone on for years. One of the main areas of contention has to do with the noise of the jets. I caught up with former energy efficiency analyst Scott Pigg, who has spent the last few years tracking the frequency and decibels of the F-35s through a network of 20 meters set up close to Truax Field. And here's what he found.
Those meters are collecting data 24/7, once a second. The F-35s are about 40% louder than the F-16s were. It's only about 3 or 4 decibels, but every 10 decibels, the perceived loudness doubles. So 4 decibels louder is about 40%, louder.
The 115th Fighter Wing says pilots follow flight paths to try and minimize noise for residents in the area. And Pigg says he's been in contact with the Fighter Wing and says he hopes to work with them to mitigate the noise.
If you're talking to somebody, you have to shout to be understood. Once you start getting up over 100, it doesn't matter how loud you yell. You can't communicate with another person. If we could find a way to just some flight paths or some departure routes or something that get that down, and just even a few decibels would, I think, really help.
Now, if you would like to see more data that Scott Pigg has picked up through this study so far, he has a website that tracks everything that we had just mentioned. And you can see the data from the 20 meters that he has throughout the area. You can find a link to that on the article that I wrote on our website on channel3000.com. But for now, reporting from Truax Field, Jalen Banks, News 3 Now.
Thank you so much, Jalen. In other news today, Governor Tony Evers has signed a bill that aims to protect children from a specific kind of child sexual exploitation. Braden's Law was introduced after the tragic passing of 15-year-old Braden Bone. Braden, a student in the D.C. Everest School District in Marathon County, died by suicide after becoming the target of sextortion. Sextortion crimes often target teenage boys, coercing them into sending explicit images. The perpetrators then threaten to release the photos or videos unless the victim pays them. Braden's Law will create new penalties for sextortion crimes. It also provides the victim or victim's family with payment from the Department of Justice's Crime Victim Compensation Fund.
Braden's Law will ensure that the perpetrators who are responsible for these heinous schemes are held accountable.
The passing of Braden's Law to me is perseverance and proof that we will fight for our children until the day that we join them again.
Braden's Law will also include graduated penalties for offenses depending on the offender, the act, and the victim's age or actions.
A barn is considered a total loss after a fire last night in Dodge County. It happened in the town of Lowell, about 10 miles south of Beaver Dam. The Beaver Dam Fire Department got a call of a structure fire just after 7:30. Now, due to the size of the structure and also a lack of water supply there, an excavator had to be used to put it out. No injuries were reported. No other buildings were damaged.
4 people are displaced after a water pipe burst at an apartment in Madison early this morning. At about 2:30, a resident ran over to Fire Station 10 to report that the pipe had burst. Firefighters found a large amount of water pouring into the unit. The people living below then reported water leaking through the ceiling, so they had to evacuate as well. Firefighters were eventually able to shut off the water. Property managers were able to offer accommodations for the tenants displaced by the leak.
Right now, a boil water notice is in effect for the village of Clinton. On Saturday, the village experienced a major water main break, and so far samples testing for bacteria have tested safe, but a second sample is required to be submitted before the boil water notice can be lifted. The second sample results should be done sometime tomorrow. A notification will be posted after those test results are released.
Right now, the Middleton Cross Plains School District is giving a safety and security update.
Well, the district is telling parents how they prepare for critical incidents. Our Tanisha Shaw joins us in studio with more. And Tanisha, you spoke with their security officer today.
The Middleton Cross Plains Area School District. He told me the newest ways the district is keeping their students and staff safe. A lot of these changes actually happened over time. A major difference from 10 years ago to now is the security officer position itself. Asher Torbeck's goal is to find ways to keep classrooms safe. Some updated security measures are their visitor system, entryways, and how staff respond to critical incidents.
We want our schools to be open and inviting, but we also need to make sure that we're secure and we're keeping our students and staff safe. So we reduce that down to 1 entry point within our schools, and then we create levels of security from that entry.
Torbeck also told me that a lot of these changes happened after the Sandy Hook shooting that took place in 2012 that killed 26 people in Connecticut. The safety update event will be held on Wednesday evening at Park Elementary at 5:30.
All right, thank you, Tanisha Shaw. Also tonight, police in Wauwatosa are releasing new body cam video of an unusual arrest at a hotel last month. Take a listen.
What are you guys, Care Bears?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you heard that right. 2 teenagers in Care Bear onesies surrendering in an abandoned hotel. The arrest happened back on November 11th. The teenagers were part of a larger group who scattered inside the hotel when officers showed up. After clearing dozens of empty rooms, 7 teens ages 16 to 19 were taken into custody, including the 2 Care Bears. Well, coming up next, a new documentary on Starbucks baristas is coming to Madison this week. We hear from one of the producers about the upcoming film.
And protecting your holiday packages from porch pirates, what Madison police say you can do to avoid a blue Christmas. Stay with us.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Welcome back. The Madison Police Department is providing tips to keep your packages safe from porch pirates this holiday season. A Security.org study finds thieves stole more than $18 million worth of packages over the last year alone. Madison Police recommend having your packages delivered to secure locations like an Amazon locker or the UPS store, or require proof of identification.
If you have a higher value item, seeing if you can require the package carrier to get a signature in order to turn the thing over to you. That's another way, just so you are the one specifically receiving your package versus it being left on your porch.
The Better Business Bureau says porch pirates often target houses that provide a quick in and out route, especially if the packages are delivered within 25 feet of the street and are easily visible.
This week, the Barrymore Theater is featuring a documentary on a group of Starbucks baristas who are fighting to unionize. The documentary is titled Baristas versus Billionaires. It focuses on baristas in Buffalo, New York, exposing the company's union-busting tactics while explaining how they say they plan to win this fight for their union. The screening scheduled for this Wednesday and Thursday at 7 p.m., including an introduction by co-producer and two-time Oscar nominee Glenn Silber, joined on stage for a post-screening Q&A with two union baristas.
I think if people see the film, they'll leave feeling really inspired, because it's about young people who most of us don't think of being very political these days, working together to make change.
Tickets for this, $15, and you can find them at barrymorelive.com.
Still ahead, we'll introduce you to the new director of Wisconsin's Public and Environmental Health Lab.
Plus, the Trump administration announces an aid package to help U.S. farmers, where most of that aid will be directed.
And more snow on the way this week. Alex tells us when and how much after the break.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Welcome back, everyone. Wisconsin's Public and Environmental Health Lab has a new director.
Rudolph Johnson is a toxicologist who worked for the U.S. VA as director of a program there. His job was to look into gaps within medical care for veterans who had been exposed to chemicals. Before that, he worked for the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention for 20 years. The lab primarily focuses on clinical, environmental, and occupational health. As part of the UW-Madison, educating is a vital component of the lab's work.
The laboratory actually has a very broad impact across the United States and, of course, across the state, where it helps train public health professionals to be better at what they do.
And another goal Johnson has is to continue the lab's leading role in developing new capabilities in anticipation of future health needs.
Help for U.S. farmers is on the way from the White House in the form of a $12 billion aid package. President Donald Trump made this announcement today. Now, most of the aid will be directed to crop farmers through one-time payments under the Farmer Bridge Assistance Program. The remaining $1 billion will go to farmers whose crops fall outside of those covered by that program. The Agriculture Secretary said money should begin flowing by the end of February. Well, the First Warn Weather Team began forecasting alert day conditions for this weekend for tomorrow and Wednesday. Alex, what are we expecting now?
Still expecting that wintry mix, that messy mix of snow, icy roads, windy conditions, maybe some freezing rain as well. This is for Madison and areas to the north, but all of southern Wisconsin stands a chance for those icy roads, and I'll explain in just a moment. This is Tuesday night going through Wednesday, so let's say approximately 3 to 6 p.m. Tuesday evening, all the way up through Wednesday morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, maybe as late as the mid-morning hours on Wednesday. But we'll break it all down here. Snow breaking out in southwest Wisconsin, Boscobel, Lone Rock, Mineral Point, Platteville, Viroqua, right around 3:30 Tuesday afternoon, becoming widespread across all of southern Wisconsin during that evening commute. So the evening commute will be impacted by wet snow. But take a look at this purple area here. It's very, very thin, stretching from Platteville over to Monroe, over towards Janesville. That's that sharp cutoff in that rain snow. And as we go a little bit further into the evening, it lifts to the north. Lone Rock, Mineral Point, Darlington, Madison, Janesville, we might get a little bit of rain mixing in with the snow. But even if we get a little bit of rain or a little bit of drizzle, those pavement temperatures are way below freezing. So that rain will freeze on untreated surfaces as the snow, though, continues Dells, Camp Douglas, up towards Marquette and Green Lake counties. The storm spirals through with more snow showers as we go into the start of Wednesday morning. Strong north winds. This may add a little bit of additional accumulation, and the strong winds causing some local blowing and drifting of the snow that falls and all that snow that we have out there. Wednesday itself is just going to be a breezy day. Overall accumulations, a thin band of 1 to 3 inches near Madison up towards Lone Rock, up towards Richland Center. You go south and west towards Mineral Point, Monroe, Platteville, maybe even Janesville. You might not get any snow at all out of this weather system, but you go just a little bit further to the north, the Dells, Juneau, Adams, Marquette, Green Lake counties, you might pick up 3, 4, 5 inches of snow. But this weather system is a complex one. What isn't complex, the strong winds, those will continue throughout the day on Wednesday. But let's break things down here, noting first the winter weather advisories, Juneau, Adams, Marquette, Green Lake, Columbia, and Dodge counties. Not going to be shocked to see winter weather advisories expanded to the south, but it all depends on the track of that weather system. If that track moves a little bit further to the north, snow totals higher go to the north. If that weather system comes a little bit further to the south, those snow totals increase for areas like Madison, Dodgeville, and areas further to the south. So that cutoff of snow and the track are absolutely key to the snow totals, but it doesn't matter where you are in southern Wisconsin. Even if you get rain, the deep snow that we have out there, those really cold pavement temperatures, any untreated surfaces are going to become slick Tuesday night going on into Wednesday. Speaking of slick, we have some snow on the way for tonight yet, already reaching Minneapolis. It's rapidly moving towards the south, towards the east as we head towards the midnight hour, even 10 o'clock across much of southern Wisconsin. Some scattered snow showers. Those snow showers in between the snow shower activity could have a little bit of freezing drizzles, so some icy spots are not out of the question overnight tonight. Following a busy period Tuesday going into Wednesday, the upcoming weekend here in Wisconsin at least will be bitterly cold, wind chills to 20 below, but the Packers game, Denver, right?
It's supposed to be better there, I hope.
About 60 degrees and sunny.
Wow. All right.
Okay, well, in our case, it's going to hit the repeat button.
Yep, repeat. Every other day something.
Thank you, Alex.
Thanks, Alex. Well, Bob Dylan will perform at the La Crosse Center as part of his Rough and Rowdy Ways tour.
The event begins at 8 p.m. on March 27th. Many of you know Dylan for famous songs like Blowin' in the Wind, The Times They Are A-Changin', Like a Rolling Stone, and Tangled Up in Blue. I won't sing them for you. Tickets go on sale this Friday at bobdylan.com.
Okay, he's here with a look at sports.
Yes, definitely. Coming up next in sports, more on the Packers win next on News 3 Now. We've heard it time and time again that while offense wins games, defense wins championships. And yesterday, the Packers proved that thanks to defensive back Keyshawn Nixon. Nixon was undrafted in 2019 after graduating from South Carolina. And after a short stint with the Raiders, he signed with the Packers in March of 2020. And history wrote itself. 2 times Pro Bowl and NFL kickoff return leader in 22 and 23 to get his first interception of the season in yesterday's game that would put his team in the #1 spot for the NFC North, and Micah Parsons couldn't be prouder.
He's not to be played with, bro. He's small in size, but he's like a pit bull. Like he's scrappy on that outside. I mean, he knows when to turn it on. Like he always finds a way, and he's incredibly smart. Like I don't think people give him his credit. Like. So for his size and how he plays and how he's been able to step up and the screen game and the pass game and the pass deflections, to me, it doesn't go unnoticed.
Next up for the Packers is the Broncos, and you won't have to go far to catch this one. It will be right here on News 3 Now next Sunday at 3:25 p.m. When you think of Wisconsin men's basketball, you have to mention John Blackwell. He's like the jelly to their PB&J, always jamming when they need him to, earning his first Big Ten honors this season, this week, being named Player of the Week because of his level of intensity in scoring in the last 2 games, putting up 26 on Northwestern and 30 on Marquette. But none of this would be possible if it wasn't for one of his biggest mentors.
Shout out to John Tanji. He was consistent with his scoring every single night, and just different spots. Obviously, when you're top on the scout, you got to find different ways to score, and you just got to be mentally prepared And then I just learned from guys like that if you're a scorer and that's your job, you have to be consistent with it. I think it just comes and flows. But I'm blessed to be part of this team, and I'm blessed to, be able to score.
Women's side knew they beat the ranked Michigan State over the weekend. The Badgers' first ranked win since 2023, waking up the basketball world that they are here to play. And there will be more on this win at 10. And it's Monday, so let's huddle up. Wisconsin men's basketball's Austin Rapp is the guest on this week's Huddle, which is about to start. Live taping at Cousins Subs right near UW's campus. This is one you don't want to miss.
All right, Kay, thank you. And coming up later tonight, join us for News 3 Now at 10. The Office of Violence Prevention creating a new grant program. It's an effort to reduce crime. News 3 Now's Armand Rahman breaks down how the money in this grant program will be used.
And now a final check on our forecast. It's an alert day coming up.
Another alert day right around the corner. We said for the past week and a half it's going to be a busy train of weather systems. Here comes another train into southern Wisconsin Tuesday night going on into Wednesday. Snow, windy, and icy roads expected Madison and areas towards the north. Can't forget about tonight. A little light snow and some freezing drizzle could cause some slick spots overnight. But tune in tonight at 10. We'll have a very fresh look at Future Track to show you where that rain snow line is going to set up on that Tuesday night, Wednesday weather system, because that is going to be the game changer for who gets snow and who gets the rain and maybe some freezing rain.
All right, good to know. Thanks, Alex.
Alex, thank you. Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 6. Coming up next is Entertainment Tonight.
And be sure to join us again for News 3 Now at 10. And you can always find us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000.